They brought in a law 4 years ago, that you're not allowed to hang about in the middle lane on a motorway. And has anyone been arrested? Has anyone stopped? People are still doing it. It just annoys me. It's my big... If I was in room 101, I would put people who drive down the middle lane of a motorway and don't give a shit. Thank you for listening to Talking to Our Souls. Or, to put it another way, to Talking Our Souls. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and may deal with adult topics and adult themes.
Brown sound, we're with you when you fight. Brown sound, bark with the dogs tonight. Brown sound, Cleveland is right behind you.
The funny thing is, Av doesn't know that I've actually seen what he's going to do. But we'll ignore that and go, hello everyone, my name is Steve Henn. Welcome to Talking Our Souls. I know what's coming. On the 24th day of July. My goodness, it'll be August soon. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Me, Steve Henn, and over there in his chair, we have...
my arms in a sling, Mr. Singh.
The beauty of this is I can see Av's camera, and I think he thought when the titles were coming, I couldn't see him. So I'm seeing so I'm still laughing. I should be laughing because obviously he's had an accident, unless you thought it was funny to dress yourself up in a sling. But it looks very professional, Av. Is that like your hand's done in? Have you broken your hand?
Well, I've been bitch slapping all across Wolverhampton. No, I haven't. Before everyone gets bitch slapping is a term of hitting male or female. Just to be clear on that. But I don't want to be defamatory to the men, to the women. And I want to be inclusive of the men.
If you're going to hit people, anyway, hit males and females and children, and dogs.
Yeah.
Especially
so I've had carpal tunnel release surgery today.
Today?
That makes sense. Today.
So, what's carpal tunnel? Is that when you go to work with your friends and you have to go under the ground?
Yes, it's not far from that actually, Steve. You got I think part of your wrist is called a carpal tunnel where your nerve and your tendons go through. So got a little hole like that, right? And my tendons have been swelled up, and it's rubbing on the carpal tunnel. So I was losing feeling and getting numbness in my fingertips and my thumb and my hand. So I've been struggling with it for a while. So they rang me up a few days ago and said, "Oh, I was in that pretty quick, but it's just a long wait to get to have it done." But it was fucking painful.
It looks bad. He's got a big blue thing round his neck, under his arm, and his hand is like heavily bandaged, as though it's like it's broken. So the question everybody wants to know, Av, is: can you still wank?
No.
Of course not. Nobody does these days. I mean, and to be fair, I couldn't even give a toss if you do. So,
but you need one hand to cradle the balls.
What are you doing? Snooker references now?
This is the best bit. I've got carpal tunnel, and I've got tennis elbow, but I needed a cortisone injection. That's been managing my tennis elbow.
That's not like a bloody vaccine needle, is it? I think they have big needles for
those. Well, the cortisone wasn't too bad. No, the needle for this one. Usually, you've had a needle in the arm or in the mouth or something, yeah.
I've had a prick in my mouth, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yes. When I had my dentist right underneath the gum, and she told me off for wincing, I thought, fuck off, it hurts. So, yeah.
I've had a few injections. But
we know that.
The doctor says to me, "Okay, Mr. Singh, you're going to feel a scratch." Now, when everyone says you're going to feel a scratch, you think it's going to be like, and then it's okay, yeah?
Yeah.
No. That was painful. And I'm like a proud man, Steve. I'm masculine, right? I was looking up the nurse. It hurts
you holding her hand and she was holding yours? Like, don't you
No,
worry, Mr.
I
Singh,
didn't-
it'll be all
I
right.
didn't quite go that far, but he put it in and he just left it there.
The
It felt
needle.
like he was, yeah, it felt like he was like pushing it in and around.
Like he was
I was
gouging.
like, oh my god! And it was did you miss that? It was a long, and it was a thin needle. It was a thick needle. I was like, oh my god! And then, you know, what was the more? I don't know if have you ever had like surgery, Steve, and been awake?
I had my tonsils out, but I was asleep.
I was awake, Steve, and I could feel the pressure of the cut in my hand.
Ah. It
Yeah.
makes me wince. I go like, it's like
Yeah.
everything's gone back into my body.
There's one. You didn't get my humour because
I thought
the
you said
nurse
it
was
was
talking to the doctor.
it
He
was
started
tennis
counting.
elbow. Well, counting.
Yeah.
Oh, they count down, don't they? So you fall asleep. He said, count down with me, and then you should be asleep by 4.
He was counting. No. He was she was counting something. She's going. That's 1, 2, 3. And I said to the nurse, I says, I think she's counting how many fingers I got left.
Good.
Right. And he looked at me. He went, I'm saying she's counting how many fingers I got left. Didn't cut them off. I was like, okay. It's like, I'm just trying to bring some humour into the situation.
Yeah. Funny thing is,
I'm thinking it probably happened.
well, yeah, no, that does true. Because, like, I honestly, when I worked as a hospital porter at Bromsgrove General, they were cutting the wrong people's legs off. So I bet they do count your fingers anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny to watch and it's funny to see, and it's funny to talk about. But when you get a bit too graphic, I do get a little bit ooey. I mean, I don't mind talking about it, but I do go a bit like.
was just- If there are documentaries where they do like the open brain surgery and they're awake so they can see
No, I can't.
what part of the brain they're affected.
I mean, I see horror films and stuff like that, and I still do this, even though I know it's like prosthetic and it's not true, or it's like a bit of animal guts. I can't. No. So a human thing, no. Watching my children being born was bad enough. That was like something from Alien, and they still fucking are. When I had my first COVID jab, I was poorly for 2 days, really bad for 2 days. I felt awful, really like bad. So the next time I went into the Artrix, it was in Bromsgrove, to have my second jab, this older doctor came up to me and he was asking me questions if there was any problems. I said, mate, I was bad for 2 days. It was like giving birth. That's how bad it was, right? Because I said that to the nurses and they laughed because they knew it was like irony. I wasn't being funny. But the doctor took it seriously and told me it was nothing to joke about. And I felt this big. Worse than giving birth, women that have given birth. Those of you who haven't, you're in for a lovely surprise.
I was going to say, when you said you felt this big, isn't that what you normally feel?
No. No comment. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Farage or the by-elections?
Well, I've by-elections because I'm happy that Uxbridge didn't lose because it'll make them think twice about the ULEZ.
People say I'm a les, but I'm not. Do you know as well, the good thing as well about Uxbridge staying is because last week I said that the Conservatives wouldn't get any seats, and Av says, I think they'll get one. Knowing full well, in the last 50 years, Uxbridge has never been anything else but Tory.
Well, the reason I said that was it was an educated, no, I wouldn't say guess, but educated kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
You've got to hand it to him.
Educated
Guess.
guess based upon what was happening across those boroughs because of the ULEZ.
I'm not.
Yeah. And I felt that they had a good chance of staying Conservative because they're fighting against
Yeah.
against
they're
Sadiq
using
Khan.
it as
Yeah. So that's why I felt it would. But you did say Lib Dem would win one, didn't you? I think.
Yeah. They won it handsomely. Well, I say handsomely. they got a majority of
16,000, is it?
They got 21,000 votes, and the Conservatives got 10. So 11,000, is that? That's an 11,000 majority. But the turnout was only 38,000, whereas in 2019 the turnout was 64,000, and the Conservatives got 36,000 votes, and the Lib Dems got 17,000. So they picked up 4,000 votes. About 20,000 Conservatives didn't vote, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think more Conservative voters will not vote.
Labour put in a 25-year-old. I've seen these young little shits before. Please, sir, can I have some more votes? Why is it a little shit like that gets to stand? Twat.
No, but, right, I get what you're saying. There's a lot of MPs who are a lot older that shouldn't be MPs because they haven't got any idea what they're doing. I don't think you can actually say that.
Twat.
Well, you can say it because you did say it. Also, though, Churchill was young when he was first an MP. Boris Johnson put a 29-year-old in the House of Lords.
Twat.
I'm going to defend young people every chance I get, and I think there is a chance that he'd be a better MP than a hell of a lot of MPs that we've had in the last 5 years.
You know, the last thing I would want to do would be to cause a by-election.
Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the wave.
Russia should go away and shut up.
And Britons never, never, never shall be slaves.
That is a disgrace.
It's the coalition of chaos. It's the Guardian reading, tofu eating, wokerati.
Calm down. Calm down.
This just happened in the last few minutes. Nadine Dorries, she is standing down as the MP for Mid Bedfordshire with immediate effect.
To be fair, the bar is very low. If he just turned up and voted, you know what I mean? Nadine Dorries.
You know, he's got a lot to learn. First of all, he's got to be...
shoelaces.
But yeah, tie his shoelaces, tuck his shirt in, and make sure the lines of coke are straight. Yeah, cut it up with a credit card.
And that credit card will be a Courts credit card. Look at that, seamlessly into your mate. You'd like to go seamlessly into your mate, wouldn't you?
I've heard you're a massive fan, a huge anus.
Not this time, I won't.
Your Punch and Judy days are over. So, yes. He's managed to keep himself quite happily bobbing along all week, did old Nigel Farage. And I still don't get it. I don't get it. Is it that important, though, really? Is it?
It's not just him. People are getting their banks are closed without being given a reason. Right? Well, he's the tip of the iceberg. There's a Facebook page with over 10,000 NatWest customers who've got their banks closed.
Bullshit!
No, I don't know.
No, I saw that, right? So I clicked on the link and it didn't go to the Facebook page. It went to somewhere else where you can get a statutory notice, whatever it is that he was going on about. Hold on, let me say where I went. So I found the Facebook page, right? And 450 people have joined in the last 5 days. And I clicked on to join and I thought, that's why they've joined. Because a lot of people, you know what I mean? I don't know whether or not there is anything going on there, though.
When I was younger, I had my bank account closed by TSB. And
because?
I said, why have you closed my bank? Well, you haven't used it in a while. Right. And I was only a teenager. I was like, oh, okay. And I thought, hold on. And my wages going in there. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. I thought, what's that about? So when I closed it, I'd got another account, no problem. But it got me thinking, like, they gave me some bullshit excuse. I haven't used it in a while, but my wages had been going in. And it was a different time than before the internet blew up. So you would have to ring them up, the local branch. And then not long after, the branch disappeared. I was like, oh, something's happened there at that branch.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But if your money was going in, that seems weird because that's you are. Surely they want the money in, don't they? Or they want you taking money out so you owe them. I suppose that's what they want, isn't it?
I don't. My point is, Steve, is that I think it's happened to me, but I don't know the reason. I could get another account. It's not institute political reasons, but I think it happens to a lot of people. Get their accounts closed for numerous reasons, and they're fobbed off.
Yeah.
And I think what Nigel Farage has done is what has happened to him has resonated with a lot of people because a lot of people can say, actually, that's happened to me, not for that reason, but my bank has been closed.
I mean, he's never been. He's not been debanked. He's a debanker. He's not been debanked because they offered him a NatWest account. Whether they offered him after he made a hoo-ha, he still offered a.
Yeah,
so he hasn't been. So he hasn't been debanked. The reason why courts got rid of him is because he didn't have enough money to reach the threshold, which they changed in 2011.
Well, I was watching another very, very popular channel, Talk TV.
Okay, that got to be true.
Right, with Piers Morgan, right?
Why did you
now
mention
Piers Morgan, what is it? Piers Morgan and Nige do not get on.
No, that's
they
true.
do not get on at all. Yeah, right. But even Piers Morgan saying, "I don't agree with the way he was treated."
But he wasn't treated badly, though, was he?
Have you? Well, if you go by the documents he's released,
yeah,
they haven't said very nice things about him.
No, but that was a private document that was about him in October 2020. Sorry, so that was 11 months ago in 2020.
Yeah, but as
and he
bank,
was the one who made it. He was the one who made it public. So it was a thing that they were talking about.
He made it public for the reason that he wouldn't get. Basically, it's worked in his favour to make them look bad, right?
Yeah, no,
really,
I get that.
You wouldn't expect a bank to behave like that, would you? And you could say like, oh, that me and you talking at a bank. Oh, that Nigel, he's a twat, he's a racist, or all this stuff, yeah. But you wouldn't expect him to write it down formally in a report.
If their terms and conditions says you can't be a racist, we don't have racists banking with us. That's what their terms and conditions say. You can't be a racist and bank with courts.
This is the point. This is the point, though, Steve. Is that he would argue that he's not racist. Yeah, they would need to.
Now, that's
prove
fair enough, but public opinion would probably differ.
But I'm saying, but as a bank. And I get this, but a bank's there to provide a service. Yeah. The bank's not there to make judgment. The bank makes judgment on your financial capability.
But that's it. And that's what it said, though, isn't it? It said that he might be a racist. We don't like him doing that. We don't like that. And we can't really get rid of him until he becomes like he hasn't got the money. And he won't have the money in July 2023 because his mortgage finishes with us. So he will be under the threshold. And that's what the report said.
If it was just him, Steve, then you could say, okay, you're right. But the fact is that other MPs can't get accounts.
That's because they're persons of whatever they call whatever he calls them.
But what we got to remember, Steve, I know you say the banks are this, right? Banks are fucking wankers.
No, I agree. I agree. And
I'm going to lose my bank account in a bit. Yeah, right. Yeah, you think about it, Steve. Yeah, they don't give a shit about anyone as long as the money's coming in and they make money, right?
That's true. Storms is a member of Coots. How cool is that?
Piers Morgan's a member of Coots. Right. But what I'm trying to say, Steve, is that you got a bank saying, okay, we've got these views. You can't do this. You can't be that. You can't do that. But we'll screw you over your fucking money. Yeah, you can't. Oh, you're behind any mortgage payments. We'll fucking take your house.
Yeah, no, I know that.
You can't be ethical, and then do that.
But what I don't get is that the BBC said that he didn't have the financial threshold, and that's why they got rid of him. And that's
Well,
from the letter from the woman, from the Nat West. She says that, "Dear Mr. Farage, I'm writing to apologise for the deeply inappropriate comments about yourself made in the now published papers," because he published them themselves. Then she goes on, "I believe very strongly that freedom of expression and access to banking are fundamental to our society, and it is absolutely not our policy to exit a customer on the basis of legally held political and personal views. To this end, I would also like to personally reiterate our offer to you of alternative banking arrangements at NatWest."
the problem is you've got to do it for every single person. Then, if you're saying Nigel Farage is below that threshold, then anyone else who's below that threshold has to lose their bank account as well.
But he didn't lose his bank account, though. That's the thing. They gave him another bank account.
He was undesirable, wasn't he? Indeed,
That's another thing. Whether or not he's a racist or not, and I can't say that he is, but if you ask a lot of people, they're going to say he's definitely xenophobic. But I don't trust the man. I really don't trust him.
I've heard you're a massive fan.
I'm not sticking up for him.
A huge anus.
No. In particular, but it's just like I said before, it's a slippery slope. It's that you do it to him, then who's going to be next?
Hey, that's all right. We've got enough, I think. So we can either finish on something light and frothy, which I have no idea which is light and frothy.
We can talk about the actors' strike. I mean, can you imagine, Steve, AI doing this show?
Yes.
Would be better, wouldn't it?
So join us again next week when we talk exclusively from our souls.
Brownstown, Cleveland is right behind you.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe and share this because it will help us. And don't forget to tune in next week, 8 p.m. Mondays. Ta-ra!